After his father passed away, he left behind an old leather bag. He opened it up and found $150,000 inside. The timing couldn't have been better, since he was really strapped for cash. But when he pulled out the note inside, Sam's face went pale. Turns out his father wanted him to hand over this money to a complete stranger. Sam was curious about who this person was, but at the same time he didn't want to give up the cash. So to figure out what was really going on, he headed to the address written on the note. Right when he got to the door, he saw a mother and son arguing. From what the woman was saying, Sam realized the little boy was the person he was looking for, and their address matched what was on the note. He quietly followed them. Looking at the woman inside, Sam figured she must be his father's mistress. Just then the woman got a phone call. Listening to what was being said, her expression turned serious. She rushed downstairs to a neighbor's place, tore out the newspaper article about Sam's father's death, then hurried off in her car. Sam tailed her closely. Soon he followed the woman to a church. There was some kind of sharing session going on. Sam found a seat and sat down. When it was the woman's turn to speak, she pulled out that newspaper and started reading.
He is survived by his wife and son. So, it's official. I don't exist. Woohoo! Beginning to think the editors of the LA Times are even bigger pricks than my dad was.
That's when it hit Sam. This woman was actually his sister. They had the same father but different mothers. He had no idea this even existed. After the session ended, Sam went up to say hi to his sister. He didn't reveal who he was. They just chatted briefly, and then went their separate ways. When he got home, Sam told his girlfriend about it. After hearing the story, she thought his mother should know. But Sam wanted to keep this whole thing under wraps. That way the 150 grand would be all his. His girlfriend couldn't believe it, that Sam would actually say something like that. She didn't want to be with someone who had such questionable character. She packed her bags and drove off. The reason Sam was doing this was because not long ago, he'd screwed up a deal at work and owed the other party a huge amount of money. If he couldn't pay it back in time, he'd be facing a lawsuit. And this money would solve Sam's urgent problem perfectly. The next day, Sam went to his nephew Joey's school. He secretly followed him the whole way to a music store. But what he didn't expect was, Joey slipped a CD into his backpack while the clerk wasn't looking.
No. The torch.
After giving his nephew a talking to, Sam paid for a few CDs Joey liked, then drove him home. Sam also found out from his nephew where his sister worked. That evening he went to the bar. He saw his sister greeting customers with a smile and taking their tips, but the moment she turned around, her smile vanished. Sam knew she was just doing what she had to do to survive. Right before closing time, Sam casually approached his sister pretending it was a coincidence. Seeing Sam show up again, Frankie knew this guy must have some agenda.
Can I get you something that they sell here?
No. Look, I swear to you on my life, I am not and will never hit on you.
Wow, thank you.
They sat down together. Frankie took off her work boots. For some reason, she felt naturally comfortable around Sam. But when Sam asked about her father, Frankie got defensive. And just like that, they ended the conversation awkwardly. When he got home, Sam noticed his nephew's backpack was still in the car. Inside, he found a book about helping kids deal with anxiety and depression. The next day, Sam packed his bags to leave. But when he saw his nephew's backpack, he hesitated. Meanwhile, because Joey kept getting into fights at school, the school required that he see a therapist every week. But because of work, Frankie was always running late. When she tried to make up an excuse this time, her son called her out right to her face. Because Frankie had been dishonest, the therapist refused to see them anymore. On the way back, feeling really down, Ellie dropped her cigarette into her bag and frantically dumped everything out all over the ground. That's when Sam came over to say goodbye. Ellie opened up to Sam about all the hardships in her life, but Sam told her she was a strong woman and a good mother.
Kid's really lucky to have my Frankie.
These words really meant something to Ellie. No one had ever said anything like that to her before. Before leaving, Ellie invited him to dinner. They went to a restaurant. While enjoying their meal, they talked. Ellie finally opened up and started talking about her past. When she was young, Ellie's life was chaotic and wild. So much so, she didn't even know who the father of her child was, but she still chose to have the baby. Unfortunately, she had no degree or qualifications, so she could only work in nightclubs and bars. And all of this was because of her father, because he abandoned them and chose another family. Her mother passed away when she was young. After hearing all of this, Sam finally understood just how hard her life had been. He asked Ellie how much she knew about her father's other family.
I'm one of them. I hated them. They got him.
At this point Sam still hadn't revealed who he was, but he felt terrible for what she'd been through. He decided to stay and make up for all those years of suffering. He took the mother and son for a drive. They had a great time talking, and really enjoyed themselves. He even treated them to a seafood feast, and watched the sunset together. Gradually Ellie started to have feelings for Sam, and that's when the misunderstanding began. Early the next morning, he handed over the cash to a law firm, and had them deliver it to Ellie. Meanwhile he kept on helping Ellie, taking his nephew shopping, buying them everyday necessities, so much that the fridge was completely stuffed. But when they got home, Ellie's mood was really down, because the lawyer told her father left her $150,000 after he died, and she was being stubborn about it, refusing to accept it no matter what. Sam kept trying to convince her, hoping she'd buy a new house, so her kid could have a better life. Ellie suddenly realized something was off about Sam. She had no idea what Sam's real intentions were. A total stranger. Why would he be so good to her for no reason? Sam was stumbling over his words, and never worked up the courage to come clean.
But I'm just saying you can have a better life, alright? You could leave the bar and be appreciated. You could be
For
appreciated
what?
for who you are. Same goes for Josh.
Whoa. You think maybe you're not in the best position to be handing out parenting advice? Don't you comprehend what it is to be responsible for another human being?
Because I enjoy hanging out. He's a good kid.
How's my kid gonna deal with that? So I'm just asking you, what do you want here? You want me to tell you to stay?
No.
Sorry.
Faced with his sister's questions, Sam completely froze up, and left in a hurry. He knew if he didn't tell her the truth soon, the misunderstanding between them would only get worse. When he got home, Sam told his mother everything, but his mother was absolutely shocked. What shocked her was how Sam even knew about this.
You are innocent. You know that.
His mother's reaction left Sam even more confused. He kept pressing her for answers, but not only did she refuse to tell him, she got angry and kicked him out. Then Ellie called. Turns out Joey had hurt a classmate at school, and the kid's parents were threatening to sue. Sam was about to just take off, but as an uncle how could he just ignore it? By the time Ellie got to the school, Sam had already taken care of everything. Back at home, Sam patiently explained to his nephew how to be a good person. His nephew had never listened so carefully to anyone's advice before. Ellie was standing outside the door listening quietly. Every single word Sam said really touched her heart. No man had ever done so much for her. Ellie was completely won over by this man. She rushed forward and threw her arms around him, but Sam pushed Ellie away. Seeing the misunderstanding spiraling out of control, Sam finally told her the truth.